Hello everyone, my name is Arsh, and today our group will be analyzing the social media marketing performance of Second Cup and identifying ways that the company can improve its online presence and customer engagement. So, as we know, the coffee industry is extremely competitive, especially in Canada, where companies like Starbucks and Tim Hortons dominate both the market and social media space. So, because of this, having a strong digital presence is no longer optional for brands like Second Cup. So, customers now rely heavily on social media, search engines, reviews, and online content before deciding where they want to eat or drink. So, the main problem we identified throughout our research was that Second Cup lacks strong marketing and brand awareness on social media, while also struggling with customer engagement compared to other businesses like Starbucks, Tim Hortons, and fellow competitors. Even though many people are familiar with the brand, the company is not fully taking advantage of digital marketing opportunities that could help them connect with younger audiences and increase website traffic. So, to better understand this issue, our group analyzed Second Cup using four different digital marketing tools and platforms.
For my keyword analysis, I use WordStream's free keyword tool to examine search behavior related to cafes, specialty coffees, iced coffee, and second cup. The goal was to identify which keyword customers are searching for and how Second Cup can use these insights to improve brand awareness and customer engagement. So, first, I used the word cafe. Results showed extremely high search volumes, with coffee near me receiving approximately 1.8 million searches and cafe near me receiving about 1 million searches. Keywords such as coffee shops near me also had over 800,000 searches. What stands out is all of these keywords have low competition. This suggests that customers are primarily searching for local coffee shops rather than specific brands. For Second Cup, this means local SEO and location based content could help attract customers who are actively looking for nearby coffee. Next, we had specialty coffee. This keyword had about 5,400 monthly searches, while specialty coffee near me had approximately 4,400 searches. Similar to the cafe keywords, competition remained low. These results indicate that there is a dedicated audience interested in premium coffee experiences. Second Cup could use specialty coffee content, product highlights, and educational posts to appeal to customers seeking higher quality coffee products. I also used iced coffee. The keyword itself generated 10,000, around 10,000 searches. I also found related searches such as iced coffee near me, iced latte, and cold brew coffee. Interestingly, many of the highest volume searches were associated with competitors such as Tim Hortons and Starbucks. This suggests that consumers have strong interest in cold coffee beverages, but competitors currently dominate much of the search demand. Second Cup could capitalize on this opportunity by promoting its iced coffee products more aggressively through social media and digital marketing. And then lastly, I actually searched for Second Cup itself. The word received over 90,000 searches, and Second Cup coffee shop each generated approximately 165,000 searches. In addition, Second Cup near me received over 40,000 searches. These results show that there is already a significant interest in the brand. However, compared to the broader coffee related keywords, the overall search volume is much lower, suggesting that many potential customers are searching for coffee options generally rather than specifically searching for Second Cup. Overall, the keyword analysis reveals three key insights. First, location-based searches such as coffee near me dominate customer search behavior. Secondly, specialty coffee and iced coffee represent valuable product-focused opportunities. Third, while Second Cup has stronger brand recognition, broader coffee-related keywords reach a much larger audience. Based on these findings, I recommend that Second Cup focus on local SEO and product based content to increase visibility, attract new customers, and improve customer engagement. Thank you.
Is a free analytical tool developed by Google that help us to understand how popular search term is over the time. And instead of showing exact search volume, it ranks interest on the scale from 0 to 100, with 100 represent peak popularity. And these tools allow us to track search behavior across different regions, languages, time periods, and the data used in Google Trend is aggregated and anonymized, and it also comes from both YouTube and Google searches as well. So our Google Trend analysis of second cup, I will discuss now. So second cup analysis of the Google Trends. So I will keep here in the instead of location, I will use Canada because we are talking about Canada more. And instead of past 24 hours, I will use a past year, 1 year. And here we can clearly see the Google Trends, and it showed that the brand maintains strong search interest throughout the year, which popularity generally ranging between 65 and 100 and reaching a peak at the 100 in September 2025. This indicates customers are familiar with the brand, actively search it for on regular basis. We also found out that many of the top searches were in the company's menu, including the menu second cup and the second cup menu. Those were increased by 9%, and it suggests that the customers are interested in exploring different
Analysis compares Second Cup and one of its main competitors, Starbucks, using SpyFu Food to highlight the differences between two corporations and their online visibility and CEO performances. When using SpyFu, Food, just make sure to select that year in Canada and that we wanted to do a year time period. So this data shows a gap in the online visibility. Second Cup ranks for about 10,000.5 CEO words, while Starbucks ranks about 101K CEO keywords. This means that Starbucks appears in far more search results, giving them a much higher chance of being found by customers online. When looking at monthly clicks, we can see that Second Cup receives around 13.1 clicks, while Starbucks receives about 177.0 clicks. This shows that Starbucks is not only ranking more keywords, but also driving significant more traffic into their website. The monthly value of clicks also shows a large difference between the two, with Second Cups only being 54.6K and Starbucks being about 611K. This suggests that Starbucks is gaining much more value from its CEO performance. Now, just going up to here, our traffic share chart shows that Starbucks holds about 90.6% of the traffic share, while Second Cup only holds 9.4%. This highlights that Starbucks is dominating search visibility in comparison to Second Cup. Overall, this data shows that Second Cup has a strong opportunity to improve their CEO strategy by targeting more high intent keywords, optimizing its website pages, and improving its visibility for searches like coffee near me and Second Cup menu, as well as location-based coffee searches. By doing this, Second Cup can increase their website traffic, attract more customers, and become more competitive online.
So I'm going to walk through the competitor analysis using SimilarWeb, specifically comparing Second Cup against Tim Hortons, and then break down where Second Cup is falling behind and what they can actually do about it. First, what is SimilarWeb? It's an intelligence tool that shows how websites perform. It allows you to see how much traffic is on your website versus where the traffic is coming from and how users behave once they land on the website. And it allows you to compare that performance against the competition. SimilarWeb was used to compare secondcup.com against timhortons.com and .ca. My focus was on traffic, engagement, and social media. When we look at the engagement metrics, we can see a couple of important details. Second Cup generates about 16,000 monthly visits, while the combined Tim Hortons websites hit over 400,000. Second Cup keeps people on the website for approximately 1 minute 30 seconds, while Tim Hortons achieves over 2 minutes. And this shows that Tim Hortons is doing a better job keeping users engaged. Pages per visit tells a similar story. Second Cup is around 3.5 pages per visit, where Tim Hortons averages over 5 pages per visit. People stick around to see what's going on the Timmy's website, whereas people hit the Second Cup website and leave. That pushes me into the bounce rate. Second Cup sits at around a 58% bounce rate, while Tim Hortons is lower, about 40%. A higher bounce rate means more users are landing and then leaving without taking any action. On social traffic, the data shows that YouTube drives over 50% of all social traffic. Tim Hortons captures the vast majority of that traffic, while Second Cup is essentially not present. The same trend happens on Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Pinterest. Second Cup is heavily reliant on Facebook, while missing the major platforms that are currently booming in popularity. If you look at the age data, Second Cup wins on search by people aged 18 to 34, the generation that uses Instagram, TikTok, Reels, Reddit, and Pinterest. But Second Cup doesn't advertise there. Maybe Second Cup can't compete with Tim Hortons blow for blow, but they can begin to advertise in these newer social medias to target the 18 to 34 demographic. We recommend Second Cup do campaigns in these spaces. How to make the iced latte, how to enjoy the perfect cold brew, behind the scene videos, or a day in the life of. To keep users on their site longer or reduce bounce rate, Second Cup needs to improve the user experience once people land on the website. Better landing pages, simple visuals, more internal links to encourage users to keep browsing. Finally, Second Cup should focus on competing differently than Timmy's. Rather than trying to match them, Tim Hortons is massive. They have more locations and more recognition. Second Cup should position itself as a premium or a specialty coffee and target that with more specific keywords and audiences that are going to align with that brand. With that being said, over to Arsh. Thank you.
Although consumers are still actively searching for Second Cup and its menu items, the company is not fully taking advantage of current digital marketing trends. Our research shows that many customers search using location based terms like coffee near me or products focused such as iced lattes rather than searching directly for brand names. This means that improving SEO and creating stronger social media content could significantly increase Second Cup's visibility online. One of our biggest findings was that Second Cup needs to improve how it connects with younger audiences. Competitors are successfully using platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and short form video content to drive engagement and bring traffic back to their website. While Second Cup has very limited presence on these platforms, since younger consumers spend a large amount of time on social media, this creates a major opportunity for the company to grow its audience and strengthen brand awareness. So, as a group, our main recommendations are for Second Cup to strengthen its SEO strategy, optimize its website for high intent and location based searches, reduce bounce rates by improving user experience, and increase traffic through stronger social media marketing. Creating more engaging content and around specialty drinks, seasonal beverages, promotions, and educational coffee content could also help the company stand out from competitors and build stronger customer relations online. Overall, our research shows that Second Cup does not necessarily need to compete directly with larger companies in every area. Instead, the company should focus on building a stronger digital identity as a premium and specialty coffee brand. By improving its online strategy and adapting to current social media trends, Second Cup can increase customer engagement, attract more website traffic, and strengthen its overall digital presence in the Canadian coffee market.